There's a common thought out there that most of the games for the Atari Jaguar are garbage. And that's where I come in. I am the Game Collector, and this is Second Opinion Games. And today I look at 10 great games for the Atari Jaguar. Now I know that these aren't all the super great games for the system, and I even fought really hard to leave Club Drive off of this list because in my heart, I know it's absolutely horrible. But the rest of these games could easily make anyone's list of any top 10. Here's the catch. None of these games are on my top 10, but I still wanted to talk about them. So, let's start it in no particular order.
Second Opinion Games.
Atari cards. If you like the Super Nintendo Mario Kart, then you're gonna freaking love Atari cards, because it's just more of the same. Racing around, lap after lap, very quick races indeed, sometimes only taking about a minute 30 or less, and this game still looks beautiful. There's plenty of characters to unlock, and you'll have a terrific time making one more lap around the track with Bentley Bear. This is definitely one of the most fun times you're ever going to have playing your Jaguar. I love the creepy backgrounds and all of the colors that they show in this game. The music is great, and the control of the carts is perfect. This is definitely worth the obscene amounts of money you're probably going to have to pay for it. Alien vs. Predator. This is probably the first time a licensed game kept very true to its source material, as you feel lost. No matter what character you're playing as, the Predator, the Alien, or the Space Marine, you always feel lost and you feel underpowered against all the odds. This is truly awesome. The only thing that really holds it back for me is the map system, being right there in the center of the screen, spinning out of control with my character. That really should have been fixed. I could look past the slow frame rate issues because the game is so brilliantly made. But this will scare the willies out of you. It is insane. Most people hold it at the absolute highest praise on the even system, saying that this is the best game or one of the best games ever even made. It's certainly one of the greats. Cannon Fodder. You get to play as these super cute little men exploding all over the place. Yay! And there's vehicles. Tons of different weapons as well. You could even rank up your characters the longer you could keep them alive. However, this task is very, very difficult. Most of your people won't make it through a single stage other than the first stage of the game. It won't be too long before Boot Hill just becomes full of tombstones. Luckily, you always seem to have more recruits ready to take their spot in the line of fire. And Cannon Fodder is definitely a very good game, even if it is one of the hardest games on the Atari Jag. Doom. Okay, maybe I should actually include this game on the top 10. After all, I didn't even touch on the multiplayer yet, which means you have to system link two Jags together to perform that. And that review is coming much later. However, the single-player missions are all super great. I just wish the music was still there. After all, that is part of the Doom experience. And not having the left and right triggers on my Pro Controller actually be assigned to strafing means you can't do any circle strafing with the control layout the way it is, making Doom much, much more difficult than it is. But this is definitely one of the best versions of Doom, especially for its time, and I strongly recommend picking it up, even if you do need to spend a fortune to play the multiplayer. Hover Strike Unconquered Lands for the Jaguar CD. That's right, the Jaguar CD. I'm giving that some love here too, because Hover Strike is really, really good for this system. The controls have been fixed dramatically from the cartridge version. Tons more extra levels. 1 to 2 players, so one person could use the turret and take out the enemies, while the other person could just fly around and reach your destination. This is a completely brilliant game. Just overall, the way it's designed, and I can't believe the Jaguar could even pull it off. There's some great lighting effects going on here too, a radar system that actually works, and this is a terrific game. Too bad you need a super rare CD system just to play it. Skyhammer, one of the games that pushed the Jaguar to its absolute limits, and you are going to also have a game that will push you to your absolute limits, because you're looking at about 65 hours of gameplay. However, you're probably not going to get bored of it anytime soon. Matter of fact, you're probably going to get frustrated and throw it down and smash it, even playing it on easy, because of how actually hard it is. You could fly around this very open world and complete different missions, and this is truly an awesome game, testing your patience and your entire way you look at life, because if you spend 65 hours on this, holy cow, this is a great game, and Rebellion has never made a bad one, ever. Ruiner Pinball. Now, this game proves you don't need multiple tables and crazy effects to have a great time, because this is truly one of my favorite pinball games of all times, even if one of the tables is less than perfect, although it does have super hot demon babes in it. The other table is full of voice sampling and tons of stuff to do. Occasionally, the board will even go crazy with multi-ball, which makes it almost unplayable on a 13-inch TV, but the game is, through and through, one of the best pinball games ever made, and certainly deserves to go down as one of the greats. Brydon, a super awesome spaceship shooter, 1 to 2 player, and it has a bit more depth thanks to the power-up system. You could go all out with just lasers, or take the better choice and go with the spread-shot Vulcan cannons. Then you could go with homing missiles, or super power-up straightforward missiles. And any way you play this game, you're going to have a terrific time. It's also slightly easier than, say, the TurboGrafx version of the game, so you'll actually end up beating it, maybe even the first time you play, but you will never cease to have a very good time. It still has its challenging spots in the game, but it controls beautifully and plays perfect. One of the better ride-in titles out there. NBA Jam Tournament Edition. A big leap forward from the days of the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Well, maybe not a big leap forward. It's more of a sidestep. The controls are still great. Tons of different cheat codes, and the power moves are all still here. The announcer has never sounded this good on the 16-bit versions, and now you have a tournament edition where you have to work your way through every single basketball team in the NBA to claim your right to be called the champion. This is clearly the best basketball game on the Jaguar, and deserves to be played on any system you happen to own it on. Power Drive Rally. This is a very exceptional racing game. If you liked Micro Machines or rock and roll racing on the Super Nintendo, well, then you're about to fall in love with this one. The controls are really smooth. I love how the announcer shouts out every single turn. The game is brilliantly done. You could be racing against the clock or just against a single other opponent. Either way, you'll come to nail-biting cliffhangers at the end of every single race, because you'll be racing to make it perfect every time. On top of it, there's skills tests that will truly test your patience. And you have one of the best games for the Atari Jaguar. So good.
Hairpin right. 130.
So I hope you guys really enjoyed all these great games for the Atari Jaguar. Keep in mind, none of them made my top 10, and I don't mean this to be saying that any of these games are horrible in any way, shape, or form. Matter of fact, I kind of want it to be a conversation piece. I want to get to know all of you guys' great games. I want to know how many of these games actually made it to your number 1 on your top 10 lists. And if you think I'm really not qualified to make this decision whatsoever, well, I might not be. But I am the guy that's played and reviewed every single one of these games and every single official release game for the Jag. So please, cut me a little bit of slack here. But I know you can't wait to see what my official top 10 is, and you'll have it soon enough. So until later, I'll see you again, guys, and that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching.